Okay, for this video we're installing caliper covers for the Cybertruck for the all-terrain wheels. This is what they look like. So we're going to do three colours. We're going to do gloss black, gloss white. These are the front ones I'm showing you. And then we'll do red as well. I'll show you that in a second. So in every box you get a set of stickers. So either Beast or the Cybertruck graffiti logo. Hopefully you can see that on something. So they just sit on top of the calipers like that. So you choose, you get a set of 4, so you can either do all Beast, all graffiti, or a mix, whatever you want to do. Then we have the sort of clamping mechanisms that go on the calipers. We've had ours installed now for quite a few months. No issues at all, of course, with rubbing or anything else like that. The design is exclusively ours. And these are aluminum alloy, triple powder coated, so really nice finish. And you wouldn't know there were covers from looking at them. Some tools, some bolts with the thread lock on them already, so once you tighten it down they're not going to come loose. And then this is the red one, this is the front, obviously much larger. And then quickly show you the rear as well. That's what the rear looks like. So we've looked at a lot of designs for this. So this one doesn't have anything weird about it. There's no, they're just really well clean design, fit perfectly, of course. And then I'm going to go over the tools I'm going to use as well. So just move this out of the way a little bit. So first thing you're going to need, obviously, a socket to get the wheels off. This is a 21mm. I use this one all the time. It has a nylon sheath, so you're not going to scratch up the wheels or anything, taking the lug nuts out. And this works for obviously every vehicle, every Tesla vehicle, right? They all use the same 21mm nuts. The wheels, especially on the Cybertruck, are super heavy. I want to say 50 pounds, might be heavier than that, but either way, getting them off is tricky. Getting them on is a real pain. So I'm going to use these lug guides. We do sell these, made in America, completely solid, and they just help you hook the wheel on. You'll just see when I'm doing the install, but I would not be without these. Again, works on any Tesla, so if you change your wheels for any reason, rotate them or anything else like that, this is something you should have in your toolbox for sure. And then I'm going to use this just because it's easier or faster to get the wheels off. But to put the wheels back on, you're going to need a torque wrench. It's pretty important to make sure the nuts are torqued properly. I have a cheat sheet on my hand. So when you torque them back, you want 205 Newton meters, or about 151 pound-feet. So something like this, it just does that for you. It's really easy. So it's quite important as well. Very last thing, I'm not going to pick it up because it weighs a ton, but we have the jack. This is a Costco special. It's 3 tons. Obviously the truck weighs more than 3 tons. Doesn't matter. We're just jacking up a corner, so that's perfectly okay for this. And that's it, that's all you need. So I'm going to go over the front, then the rear. The installation is pretty easy, takes probably 15 minutes maximum per wheel. That includes dropping the wheel, putting the caliper cover back on, putting the wheel back on. All right, let's go. Okay, before we install them on the truck, we're going to get the decals installed. So as I mentioned before, you have a choice of the graffiti logo or the Beast logo. Cerberus. The decals come in white for the red and black covers, and then of course they come in black for the white covers. We're going to go ahead and put these on the red ones. So there's 2 parts to the decal, the actual, in this case the graffiti, and then the surround. The surround is really only there to help you with alignment. You do not have to install this. Now you can if you want, it will fit perfectly around this edge, but it is a very tight fit. So and honestly, I think I prefer it without it. So dealer's choice, but for now we're just going to install this part of it. To get started, I'm going to just use a rag. These should be pretty clean. We want to make sure there's no fluff or anything. So just a quick spray of alcohol. You can use, glasses cleaner or something. It just gets rid of the static as well. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to peel this back. Should have pre-peeled this because this bit's tedious to do. Hopefully I'll get it quite quickly. Start up here. Okay, you may have seen a little jump cut there. There's kind of a pain to get these 2 layers separated, but they are separated now. Fingernails help. So I'm just going to peel this back. I'm going to go slow, right? We want to, all of our movements at this point are slow and deliberate because we don't want to catch any dust or anything else. So I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to get over the top of the caliper. And we're not, unless you are planning on doing this, the edge as well, we're not looking for absolute alignment. We're just looking for pretty close. That is pretty close. I'm going to get the same rag I used just to apply some pressure to the lettering. Like so. Make sure you've got good, firm, even coverage on everything. Obviously the graffiti logo in particular is a little bit intricate, so I want to make sure it's looking good. And then I'm just going to peel that back. Like so, and then just get this out of the way. So that's how you do the big one, the front one. Let's move on to the rear. Much smaller surface area for this one, but same principle applies, so give it a quick clean. And while that's flashing off, I'm going to peel this back. Not so bad that time. Okay. And then this doesn't sit nicely on the table. Let me see if I can sort of balance it there. There we go. Just going to get back over the top of it, kind of use the edge again for alignment. Place it. Just going to double check that we're on the flat piece. We are. Grab my little cloth again. Apply the pressure to the letters. And then just peel that back. Like so. I'm just going to grab that edge. Not interested in that. And there you go. All right, we're going to go do the other two, and then we're going to get to the installation. Okay, we're ready to install the front caliper now. I'm going to install two, so front and rear on the driver's side here. And first of all, I'm going to jack the car up. So two things to remember before you start jacking the car. One, set jack mode inside the car on the touch screen. I'll show you now. This is important, otherwise it'll try and self-level while it's on the jack. That's not good. And then two, set suspension to the highest setting, just gives you more room to work. So, and I'm also going to wear this, which is kind of a point of view camera. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So first thing I'm going to do is get the jack positioned. As I mentioned, this is just a standard 3-ton jack. It's plenty for what we need. And then we're going to just line it up underneath. Just drop this down a little bit. There's 4 pads. Hopefully you can see on the angle. If not, I'll take a photo. But just get that into the roughly right spot. Okay. Give it a couple of squeezes. Okay, before I go any further, I'm going to take the loosen off the bolts. Just take these covers off. These are part of our center cap kit, as is this. Get those out of the way. And then just loosen them off a little bit, but don't take them off completely. Okay. General rule of thumb when you're taking off these lug nuts is to go opposite each time. Okay. Okay, now we're just going to jack it up so the wheel is just clear of the floor. We don't want to go any higher than we need to. Okay, get the rest of the bolts out now. Okay. Grab my gloves for the filthy wheel. Okay, super heavy wheels. Okay, so now we've got a nice clear work area. Let me grab the cover. Okay, so here's the one we're going to install. This is the one for the driver's side, so the bleed valve on the bottom, little hose thing on top. And then you're going to find for the front baggie, and then this is what we're going inside. So we're going to get, obviously this is for all, for the front two. So let's grab one bolt, and then one of these, or two of these, obviously. Get a spare bolt. So let me kind of just go over the basic geometry first. So the bolt goes through here. This is your catch. So, and this is the outside face, the sort of smaller part of it. Hopefully you see all this on my little camera. And then same for the bottom. So what we're going to do is kind of pre-thread them a little bit, and then we'll go over to the truck and I'll show you exactly how they fit on. So let's just push that through. Grab the little nubbin. Just get it to bite. Sorry, it's a bit awkward. There we go. Okay, that's that one. These have a lot of thread lock on them. So this is hard work to get these to tighten up. So we're just going to put them on pretty loose up here on the bench, like so. So that's what they're looking like now. Just tuck those in like that. Then we're going to grab the supplied wrench and go back to the wheel. Okay, so what we're going to do is just this is where it's locking in, sort of in these little recesses here and here. So we're just going to get it positioned first, just so you get a rough idea of your bearings. Now you want to make sure that once it's in place, it's absolutely no movement. If you feel any flex, then you haven't got it located properly. So you can see here, hopefully, that that's absolutely rock solid. We're adding about 3.4 to 3.2 mil of depth to this. So very, very little. So we're not going to be, you know, touching the wheel or anything like that. But with that done, I'm just going to start turning these. First of all, we just need to get some tightness on them. Okay, that one's starting to bite, so we'll come down here, do this one. Oops. Okay, it's starting to bite. Just make sure it's still good. It is. Keep going. All right, top one. Getting a little bit more resistance from this one, but that's, as I say, to be expected. We actually had to upgrade this Allen wrench to a name brand, so this is a good tool. It's not your typical, you know, Chinese tools that kind of are one use and done. This is the best one we could find. All right, so you can see, hopefully, putting quite a lot of pressure on that now. That's locked in. Let's just finish this one up down here. Same. So once you get to the point where you're virtually bending the wrench, then you're good. And then you can see, hopefully, absolutely zero movement. That is extremely solid. So the actual installation piece, very easy. Just once you kind of get your bearings on the two locking mechanisms here. Okay, we're going to put the wheel back on. Now these are a lifesaver, I promise you. I'm going to be biased because before I did this video I had to take all the photos, the still shots, so I've had this wheel on and off 4 times now, so I'm exhausted. So we're just going to put these on. These are solid stainless steel, hewn stainless steel, but they're great. And then we're just going to hook the wheel onto those and then remount it. Gloves, gloves. Okay, let's roll the wheel into place. Get lined up. All right. There we go. Put a couple of bolts in there. Get these out. So you can see just how easy these make it to hook the wheel on. I would not be without them, and these are the same for every single Tesla. Same thread for all of them. Okay, we'll get the other 6 bolts on. Okay, before I lower it, I'm just going to rotate the wheel so you can see that we've got plenty of clearance. And hopefully you can see maybe on this camera that, you know, the faster the wheel goes, the more you see of the caliper. So although they're fairly dense wheels, obviously in motion it looks really good. All right. So slowly lower the truck down as best you can. Okay, pull the jack out of the way. Grab your torque wrench. So as I mentioned, about 150 pound foot pressure, which is what I'm set to there. Hope you can see that. And again, just kind of start in go this one, you know, working opposites. And then after you've driven 50 to 100 miles, you should recheck the torque on the bolts just to make sure they're good. But other than that, that is how you install the front caliper. Just finish off with our little covers. Now I'm going to go grab a Monster energy drink and we'll start on the back wheel. Okay, before we go to the wheel, here's the rear caliper. It's got the decal applied. So this one goes on differently. Let me just show you before we go over there. So for the rear, so what you're going to need for each caliper are 2 of the clips, 2 of the washers, and then obviously 2 of the lock bolts. And you get a spare bolt and washer as well. So the way it goes on, like this, these kind of clip around like that. And get it right. Is that right? Hold on, let me get, no, wrong way around. So like this and like this. So it'll make much more sense when it's on the truck. I just wanted to show you kind of away from the truck just so you can get a better idea. So that's how they go on. They're actually locking sort of inside the inside edges of the caliper, the actual calipers. And then we just screw those down. So let's go to the wheel and I'll explain that again. All right, so here we are on the rear wheel. I've got it all off obviously. So before I put the clips on, this is how it fits on. So again, you know, rock solid, you don't want any flex. And then if I kind of show you this without the caliper, so these go behind here like that. And then this one, same thing down here. So look for the disc and then that's where they lock in. So quite simple. So what we're going to do now, and this bit's a little bit awkward, but just kind of hook it on like that, and then this one down here as well. Just sort of finagle it in there, like so. Then we'll get the lock nuts. Make sure you have the washers on as well. Get that started. Same for this bottom one. Okay, then we're just going to tighten these up. Let's go this way. Same as before, kind of get them both, you know, reasonably tight, and then we'll come back to the top one and tighten it all the way down. Okay, so it's pretty tight. Let's make sure again it's well seated, which it absolutely is. I'm just going to complete that. Same thing, so hopefully you can, well, you can see that's just starting to bend, so you've got plenty of torque on that. And then same thing on this side. Oops. All right, that's really tight. Again, not going anywhere at all. I'll get the wheel mounted back on and then we'll call it done. As before, we're going to use our lug guides. Goose, you're going to have to move, buddy. No, maybe not. I'm very used to working around him, and he's very used to me working around him. Whew. Get it. Okay, get the last two bolts in, and then the only reason I'm sort of showing you this bit is just another reminder to make sure you torque these properly to about 150 pound-foot or 205 Newton meters. And again, I'll link, this all came from Amazon I think pretty much, so I'll link all of this in the description. And should let me lower it down as well. The rear wheel is locked, so it doesn't really matter either way, but and there you go. So that's the caliper covers for the Cybertruck in red, white or black. Very easy to install, just takes a bit of effort to get the wheels off and on. Thank you for watching.